Thanks for joining me today. We are going to make some coffee paper, just to make junk journal pages. We don't want our paper to be just plain white like this. Step one is, get your paper ready. If we don't have a paper ready, we don't have a journal. I made my coffee that I'm drinking. And right after that, I left the coffee in the coffee filter. I didn't take it out. And I ran another cup of coffee. So this is still quite warm, but it's not just straight coffee. It's re-ran coffee. So it's going to be a little bit lighter than normal coffee, but that way we didn't waste anything. We're going to throw that coffee out anyway. So you could put this in a spray bottle, spritz down your paper. You could kind of, drip it over. It's all up to you. However you want to do this. There's lots of different ways. I'm just going to barely dip in there. And I'm just going to kind of brush it on a little bit. And that is not as dark as I was actually hoping for. So there we go. A little bit more coffee in there. Okay, I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to get the other side. A little hot. Try not to burn my fingers. Okay, see it's rolling up. I'm just going to unroll it. This side a little. Don't worry if we get a wrinkle or something. That's actually going to add to the look of the aging that we're giving this paper. Okay, so doesn't look too much different, but it's definitely a darker tint. So now I have over here our drawing board, and we're just going to let that dry. Actually, we are going to, I forgot, help everything not stick as bad. We haven't fun yet. So then we have a sheet. This one's actually got some stuff on it. We don't know what's on the corner. That's fine. It is just your regular white paper that you would put in a 3-ring binder. We're going to leave the holes in it too, because it's interesting. It's just going to add a little bit more depth to our page that we're looking for later. So this one I'm just going to kind of dab around instead of rub in. Oh, there's the alarm going off. Good morning, time to get out of bed. But I'm already out. You didn't know it was early in the morning, did you? It's whatever time it is. So the cool thing about this paper is you see that it bleeds. So the ink in here, as you get it wet, is just bleeding. Now, we don't like bleeding when it's us or when we're writing our words on a project. Probably don't want our words to bleed. But in this case, we definitely want our ink to bleed, but not crazy. We don't want it to run off the page. Just want it to smear up a little bit. See, how's that? Kind of like that. It already comes through the other side some too, but we're going to do just a tad on this side. And some of the spots that didn't really bleed through all the way. Just to pop that blue color. Because who knows what we want to do with this page later. That is an adventure for another day. I gotta make sure not to drink the coffee that is staining the pages. I got my own coffee here. Okay, this one's already got kind of a little bit of blob from that. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I kind of want to just drip it. And then let it run. Run away, run away. All right, we'll do that again. So I guess we didn't do just the rub technique today, guys. You never know. You never know what's going to happen once you start crafting, because you know, your imagination just starts going and you think, no, I want to do that instead. That's the joy of crafting. Okay, so I have a little coffee here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick my paper down on it. There you go. Now I'm going to just take my hand and rub what I got here. And I kind of like that. I also have our actual coffee filter. So for our next page, we're going to try some of that. Ooh, coffee grounds. Let's see if we rub these in, how that looks. Not much different, but if we take this guy out, try not to get coffee everywhere. It's everywhere. So messy. Ooh, it's hot too. Now we can, whew, it's actually, yeah, it's pretty good and hot. That's okay. I believe in me. Ooh, and this is, oh, I love this. Oh yes, this is exactly what this page needs to be. We're gonna get rid of all these coffee grounds in a minute, guys. Don't stress out. Rubbing that in, help on this side. A little bit. That's interesting. Now I got coffee hand here. That's okay. That's what good old soap and water is for. All right. And not to get our grounds everywhere. Let's see how we did. I rather like that. Let's do a blue. So I have some blue colors in here as well. Okay. I thought that was a hair. It's not a hair. Probably would help if I turn the fan on, would dry them a little faster as well too, but then my papers are going to blow around. And you might hear a whooshing, whoosh, whooshing, whooshing, whoosh, whooshing in the background. I don't want that for you. So we're doing a little dab here, dabba 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 of the coffee. You see, I just get a little coffee on and I kind of shake it off. I don't want it just completely saturated, because that's going to do two things. It's going to make our paper take really long to dry, but it's also going to make our paper that much more brittle once it does dry. I'm sure you guys have seen paper where you've got it wet, something that's really important, so you let it all dry out. And after it's dry, it has that real crackiness kind of sound and feel to it. And you kind of feel like if you bend it too much or mess with it too much, it's just going to fall apart in your hands. So we don't want that, because we definitely want to be able to use the paper afterwards. So kind of dry that side a little bit before I stick it down. I kind of like how this dab on the blue looks. Because back to our completely saturated, I want you guys to have a junk journal that doesn't completely fall apart when you use it. So, and you can use your junk journal for anything. And you don't have to use this paper for junk journal. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. Scrapbooking, maybe you want to write a letter to, you know, a pen pal, a neighbor. It's a good time to write letters. So we will take all of this fantastic, wonderful, now looking old and grungy, coffee stained paper and put it into a junk journal. So we're going to let our other pages dry, and ooh, the back of that turned out fantastic. Look at the back of that page. How much that bleeds. That looks so good. Yes, we will take this and put it into a journal and get it all ready for us. That's going to be on another episode, but we're going to tear down a book first. So make sure you watch those in order if you're following along with crafts. If you want to see how all this paper gets decorated, because obviously we're going to put it into a journal, but we're not just going to completely leave it like this. Hit the little thing in the bottom of the corner. That'll get you to the subscribe easily. And yeah, you can get notified with the bell when I post a new video, and you can watch how all of this is going to turn into a really cool journal for us. Thanks. Have a great day.